for you.
Breakaway, Gallagher and Lyle on the coffee break on Caroline. Playing a quarter of an hour of mild music for you to relax to. The general idea is that you lounge about sipping coffee and generally bring industrial output to a grinding halt. I'll play the music. And then we get back to normal at about 11:15. Peter Phillips for J. Jackson on a Tuesday morning. Here's P.P. Arnold.
There'll be no street.
Style Council and Walls Come Tumbling Down. Before that, you heard Niels Lofgren and Secrets in the Street. 29 minutes away from 4 o'clock here on Caroline. And just having a look at today's weather this afternoon, we expect showers, some thundery as well. Tonight, though, will be cloudy but mostly dry. We have a low of 11 degrees Celsius as well, which is fairly warm, and winds are southerly and light. The outlook brighter but still thundery showers at time, and the sea conditions at the moment are extremely smooth, and visibility is moderate.
In 1 week, you could be a millionaire. You can win tax-free in Canada £1 million. The game is Lotto 649. Choose any 6 numbers between 1 and 49. Send them with your name, address, and £15 cash, check, or money order to Bet Canada, Box 48649, Vancouver, Canada, V7X1A3. Your numbers will play for 13 consecutive weeks after receipt. Allow 4 to 6 weeks for confirmation. In 1 week, you could be a millionaire. Catch the 649 results on Caroline. Caroline.
Oh, yes, wait a minute.
Really is an excellent piece of music. That's a Marvelettes and When You're Young and in Love. Coming up, by the way, between 4 and 6 o'clock at 5:20, we have the Caroline Gig Guide. And at 5:30, we have the personal top 5 of Stephen Stafford, I do believe the name is. Right now, live from the North Sea on 576 kilohertz. This is Radio Caroline International. It's 4 o'clock.
Radio Caroline News, brought to you by Newsweek magazine.
At least 80 people are believed to have been killed and 300 injured in 2 days of fighting around the Palestinian refugee camps in southern Beirut. Today there have been more fierce clashes. Shiite militiamen are trying to take control of 3 camps from the Palestinians and are understood to have made some progress. The chairman of the Prison Officers Association, Mr. Colin Steele, has told the association's annual conference that Britain's jails could explode at the seams because they're so overcrowded. But the Home Secretary, Mr. Leon Britton, said in reply that there was a chance of improving the situation by the end of the decade, as the government was already embarking on the biggest prison-building programme in history. Police in Bradford have virtually ruled out a smoke bomb as the cause of the football stadium fire disaster, which claimed 53 lives. Survivors of the fire helped police set up a reconstruction of the disaster, and police film of the reconstruction has been sent to the coroner and the judge who are investigating the tragedy. The Pope, who's on the final day of his visit to Belgium, has attended an outdoor meeting at the Catholic University of Louvain. He listened while the president of the Students' Union told an audience of more than 30,000 that the Catholic hierarchy was becoming separated from reality and criticized the Church's ban on contraception. Pope John Paul II then read his own address on the role of Catholic universities. The U.S. Defense Secretary, Mr. Caspar Weinberger, who today ends a short visit to West Berlin, has been to see the Berlin Wall before meeting American troops stationed in the city. This afternoon, he flies to Brussels to attend the meeting of NATO defense ministers, which begins tomorrow. Meanwhile, East Germany has denied that its border guards killed a man trying to cross the wall to West Berlin. The official news agency says the body which was seen near the wall was that of a wild boar, which had been shot by a group of hunters. For Caroline International, I'm Peter Phillips.
That was Radio Caroline News, brought to you by Newsweek, the international news magazine.
Live from the North Sea on 576 kilohertz, this is Radio Caroline International, where the time is 12 o'clock midday.
Radio Caroline News, Brought to you by Newsweek magazine.
Latest reports from the Lebanese capital Beirut say the ceasefire which was agreed yesterday evening seems to be generally holding, though there are still sporadic outbreaks of shooting of varying intensity. The ceasefire came at the end of 2 days of fierce fighting in the southern suburbs of the city, which is thought to have claimed at least 100 lives. Shiite Amal militiamen have been trying to take control of 3 Palestine refugee camps there. The Soviet leader, Mr. Gorbachev, has again attacked the American Star Wars project. Speaking in Moscow at a banquet in honor of the Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, Mr. Gorbachev accused Washington of trying to camouflage the program by labeling it defensive. He said it greatly increased the chance of a nuclear war. Teachers' leaders in Britain are critical of the latest initiative by the Education Secretary to resolve their pay dispute. Sir Keith Joseph has announced a 14-point list of teachers' duties and say more money might be found next year if they can agree on new terms of contract by this October. The biggest teaching union, the NUT, has dismissed Sir Keith's initiative as propaganda and says more funds should be made available this year. And finally, in Britain, an official report out today has labelled East Anglia as a haven of growing prosperity. The region says the report attracts the lowest crime rate in England and the best employment record outside the southeast. For Caroline International, I'm John Lewis.
That was Radio Caroline News, brought to you by Newsweek, the international news magazine.
Those Bad Girls. Dom Felder from his album Airborne. Dom Felder, of course, an ex-member of the Eagles. 7 past 12. Good afternoon to you, James Day, on Caroline between now and 3 o'clock this afternoon. Thanks to Peter Phillips for the previous 3 hours, sitting in for Jay Jackson. And also cheers to Johnny Lewis for the news. More news on Caroline, of course, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Peter Phillips will be reading that one then. Usuals this afternoon, double plays and a top 5.
When it feels love the man.
And before I get sick of that record, that's good. Go West here on Caroline and call me. Just settling into my first cup of tea of the afternoon. Do hope you're joining me. Just like to say hello to a little shipping vessel that I see off to the left of the ship. And it seems to be just stuck there, slinging out its nets or something. Anyway, if you've got the trandy on over there, good afternoon to you. Hey, it's great to have company in the afternoon. This is Midnight Star.
The Canadian lottery in which your £1.15 could pay off to the tune of at least £1 million. To play Lotto 649, choose 6 numbers from 1 to 49. Send them along with your name, address, and £15 to Bet Canada, Box 48649, Vancouver, Canada, V7X1A3. Your numbers will be entered in Lotto 649 for 13 consecutive weeks after receipt. It's not every day that £1.15 can pay off over $1 million. Catch the 649 results on Caroline.
Love and good music, Radio Caroline.
The Canadian lottery in which your £1.15 could pay off to the tune of at least £1 million. To play Lotto 649, choose 6 numbers from 1 to 49. Send them along with your name, address, and £15 to Bet Canada, Box 48649, Vancouver, Canada, V7X1A3. Your numbers will be entered in Lotto 649 for 13 consecutive weeks after receipt. It's not every day that £1.15 can pay off over $1 million. Catch the 649 results on Caroline.
Love and good music, Radio Caroline.
It's Josephine, and it's from his album The Shamrock Diaries. 22 past 5.
The Radio Caroline Gig Guide. A list of concerts and musical spectacles around Europe.
It's Thursday the 13th of June, and gigs that are going on this evening are the Style Council at the Royal Centre in Nottingham. The Pogues are at the Manchester Academy, the Sister Sledge at the Manchester Apollo, and
And the Peckstones, the band who you heard just before 5 o'clock, they're playing at Dingwalls this evening, Camden Lock in London.
The Radio Caroline Gig Guide, a public service for you from Caroline.
Get ready to get rich.